There are several different ways of adding dimensions to drawing views within SOLIDWORKS. In this video, I'm going to cover the Smart Dimension tool and the other manual dimensioning options within the drawing interface. I'll go ahead and start with the Smart Dimension tool, and I'll just select out two edges. And just click that dimension in. You'll notice that that dimension comes in as gray. This means that you can't modify the dimension directly here. This is simply a reference dimension, or a driven dimension, if you will. And the reason for that is that SOLIDWORKS isn't actually looking at the features that this dimension comes from, but rather just the edges. So I can continue to add in as many dimensions as I want, but I won't be able to use these dimensions to modify the part. Although generally you won't be modifying your part within the drawing, so that won't be much of an issue anyways. Either way, these will update as you update the part. If you notice, when you click on an edge or multiple edges to create a dimension, that brings up this rapid dimensioning option, and that allows you to quickly add this either to the top or the bottom, or if I have a vertical dimension, to the left or right. And it'll automatically clean the dimensions up a little bit for you. You can also turn off this option if you don't want it, or if you don't want to use it. The next option is the Dimension Expert option. This will allow you to select a vertex, and then if you just click on any part of the model, you can add in dimensions. I'll go ahead and use that same Dimension Expert option on this view. And for some features, when you click on them, it's going to add in multiple dimensions. So that's the Dimension Expert option. I'm going to go ahead and delete out these views and project off two new views from the original. And then I'll come back into the Smart Dimension pull down, and there's options for horizontal dimension and vertical dimension. I tend not to use these because the Smart Dimension will automatically figure out which of these is appropriate. You can also use the baseline dimension option. That'll allow you to choose a base, and then I can click out multiple entities and multiple edges, and it'll create dimensions as I go. I can also create ordinate dimensions. And I can dimension chamfers. Once I do add in a smart dimension, and this applies for all dimensions you'll see within a drawing. If I click on the dimension, you'll see this icon pop up. And this allows you to add notes to all four sides of the dimension. And you can also change how it's displayed. I can add parentheses. I can center this. I can add an inspection bubble if I want. I can also change the text to being attached by a leader. And I can also add tolerance as well as change the units. So if you want to change the precision for a specific dimension, you can simply come into the selection area and choose that out. I can also add different tolerance types here and just highlight and change those dimensions. And you can change the horizontal positioning as well as the vertical positioning with respect to the dimension line. So that's how you use the Smart Dimension tool. Remember that these gray dimensions mean that they can't be directly edited, and they're simply referring to edges on the part.